Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Fred Lewis will quit Gold Rush if he doesn't meet his goals. On the most recent episode of Gold Rush, Fred Lewis said he might have to quit if he doesn't hit his goal this season. He then faced even more problems when a key vehicle broke down and another worker ended up injured. Here is a look at Fred's problems on Gold Rush this week and his dire fate. Fred Lewis might have to quit Gold Rush. Fred Lewis was talking about his crew's small haul so far this season on Gold Rush. As he was heading out to look into what the team could do to turn things around, he made a dire comment. While walking, Fred said that if they didn't hit the goal he set for this season, he might have to quit after the season ended. This is not the TV season, but the gold mining season. Fred said it wasn't worth bringing everyone back out if they didn't meet their goals. His team also seemed weary about their lack of success. One crew member said he was leaving his family at home to help Fred achieve his goals. He said if they didn't get what they needed, he might not have a reason to keep coming back out for this. Fred understood, and his wife said they needed one of their plans to hit. The problem is that haven't hit anything big yet, and this episode saw the crew take another big hit. While Buzz was working, his excavator broke off a tooth, and then the track broke apart. He showed a lot of talent in maneuvering it out of the mess without getting stuck. However, the entire team had to stop to fix this equipment to get working again. That is when another crew member had some shrapnel shoot into his cheek. It was an inch from taking his eye out. Fred used his experience as a military medic to get the shrapnel out, and he had to take the worker to get glued up while his crew kept working on the broken equipment. Fred Lewis is in last place for the season on Gold Rush. Every week, the Gold Rush Instagram page keeps fans updated on the totals. Tony Beats checked in at a total of 1,328.26 ounces, for a value of $2.35 million, which was after a huge load this week. Team Clayton is sitting a long way below him at 37.68 ounces and $45,000 in total. While the Clayton brothers have struggled to get things going, Fred Lewis has been hard at work all season. However, Fred has even less to show for his work than the Clayton brothers. Fred is sitting at 18.465 ounces and a total of $32,000. What is even more distressing is that Tony, the Claytons, and Fred are all a distance from the season's true leader. Parker Schnabel has 2,928 ounces for a total of $5.18 million. Fred is struggling. Nothing he does seems to hit. This week, he said that if things don't pick up, and if he doesn't hit his weekly average for the rest of the season, this might be the last time that anyone sees him on Gold Rush. Fred Lewis, a familiar face on Discovery Channel's hit show Gold Rush has found himself at a crossroads. From the moment he stepped onto the gold fields, his journey has been anything but easy. A former Special Forces medic, Fred's transition from the military to mining wasn't straightforward. But he brought with him a determined spirit, a love for adventure, and a drive to succeed against all odds. Now, standing on the precipice of a new mining season, Fred faces his biggest challenge yet, a make-or-break decision that could end his time on the show for good. Fred has always been the underdog of Gold Rush Unlike other miners who come from generations of mining families, Fred arrived on the scene with little experience but a lot of ambition. His initial seasons were fraught with setbacks, broken machinery, failed ventures, and what seemed like a constant uphill battle against the elements and circumstances. Still, he pressed on, leaning on his military training to keep himself and his crew motivated. But as the seasons passed, viewers began to notice that Fred was struggling more than his peers. Where Parker Schnabel, Rick Ness, and Tony Beats were hitting pay dirt and finding their rhythm in the unforgiving terrain of Alaska and the Yukon, Fred seemed to be caught in a cycle of frustration and failure. He has made it clear that this year is different. He has set clear, hard goals for himself and his team. If he doesn't meet them, he says he will walk away from the show and from mining for good. So, what are these goals, and why has Fred put such a high-stakes ultimatum on the table? Fred's goals. The last stand Fred Lewis' goals for this season are ambitious, to say the least. The first is financial. He wants his team to pull in at least 500 ounces of gold by the end of the season. This isn't a random figure. It represents the bare minimum they need to break, even after covering the costs of equipment, fuel, crew wages, and all the other expenses that come with running a mining operation in some of the harshest conditions on Earth. The second goal is personal. Fred wants to prove to himself, his crew, and his family that he has what it takes to be a successful gold miner. For Fred, it's not just about the gold, it's about redemption. After leaving the military, he struggled to find a sense of purpose. Mining became that purpose, a new mission to focus on, a new battlefield where he could test his mettle. But every time he fails to hit his targets, he feels like he's letting down not just himself, but everyone who believed in him. The third goal is about leadership. Fred has always prided himself on being a leader who cares about his crew. But in the rough and tumble world of gold mining, caring isn't always enough. He wants to prove that he can lead his crew not just with heart, but with results. He knows that to do this, he needs to make smarter decisions, be more strategic in his planning, and be willing to take risks when necessary. The pressure cooker This season, Fred has found himself in a pressure cooker, and the heat is rising. The land he's mining is more challenging than ever before, riddled with unpredictable permafrost and rivers that threaten to flood his operation at any moment. Equipment breakdowns seem to happen daily, testing his patience and his resolve. The weather is unrelenting, with sudden storms and temperature drops that can turn a productive day into a complete washout. The crew is feeling the strain too. They are seasoned, but every miner has their breaking point. Some are beginning to question whether Fred's goals are realistic or just another pipe dream. Tensions are high, and whispers of doubt are starting to spread through the camp. Fred knows that if he doesn't start hitting pay dirt soon, he could lose more than just the season. He could lose the loyalty and trust of the very people he's counting on to help him succeed. Fred's gamble. All or nothing Fred's decision to set such high stakes is a gamble, and he knows it. But he's never been one to shy away from a challenge. In fact, he thrives on them. When he was in the military, he was often called upon to make split-second decisions in life-or-death situations. Mining might not be the same kind of battle, but it's still a fight against the odds, against the elements, and at times against himself. As the days tick by, Fred remains determined. He knows that quitting now would mean admitting defeat, something he's not prepared to do lightly. However, he also knows that there's a difference between persistence and stubbornness. If he can't meet his goals this season, he's prepared to step away. He's not looking for sympathy or excuses. He just wants to know, once and for all, if he has what it takes to make it in this tough, unforgiving world.